Urologist, men don't know this. Life-changing advice from older woman. Men's health. Most men are walking around with a ticking time bomb in their lower abdomen and have absolutely no clue. You might think waking up 3 times a night is just part of getting older, but that lie is destroying your vitality and your sleep. If you don't listen to what urologists and the women who love you are desperately trying to tell you, you are headed toward permanent bladder damage and a total loss of confidence. You won't want to miss the final habit, or 99% will miss the last tip and will be stuck with prostate issues and low vitality for life. When we talk about men's health, we focus on the heart, but the prostate is the true second heart of the male body. By the time you hit 50, there is a 50% chance your prostate has already begun to enlarge. By 80, that number jumps to 90%. This isn't just about bathroom trips. It's about the fact that an enlarged prostate puts physical pressure on the nerves responsible for your most intimate functions. Ignoring this is choosing to fail. The older woman's perspective is vital here because women are often the ones who notice the decline first. They see the fatigue, the irritability, and the loss of spark that comes when a man's internal health is failing. Urologists often hear that it was a wife or partner who finally forced the man to seek help. The advice from the women who care about you is simple. Stop pretending you are fine and start addressing the plumbing before the pipes burst. One of the biggest secrets urologists wish men knew is the direct link between waist circumference and prostate health. If you are carrying extra weight around your midsection, that fat is not inert. It is metabolically active, pumping out inflammatory cytokines and estrogen. This hormonal imbalance literally feeds prostate growth. You cannot have a healthy prostate if you have a beer belly. Shrinking the waist is the most effective drug-free way to shrink the prostate. Let's talk about the zinc and saw palmetto myth. Many men pop these supplements thinking they are a magic bullet. While they can help, they are useless if you are still consuming high amounts of processed sugar and seed oils. Inflammation is the fire. Supplements are just a tiny cup of water. To truly change your health, you have to stop the inflammatory fire at the source. This means cutting out the liquid calories that spike your insulin every single day. Insulin resistance is perhaps the most hidden cause of urological issues. High insulin levels act as a growth factor. It tells your cells, including your prostate cells, to divide and grow. This is why many urologists are now looking at their patients' blood sugar as closely as they look at their PSA levels. If you can fix your insulin sensitivity through intermittent fasting or a low-carb lifestyle, your urological symptoms will often improve dramatically without surgery. Another life-changing piece of advice involves the pelvic floor. Most men think Kegels are only for women. This is a massive mistake. Men have pelvic floor muscles too, and they are responsible for bladder control and erectile strength. If these muscles are weak or tight from sitting all day, blood flow is restricted. Learning to properly engage and relax the pelvic floor can be more effective than a blue pill. It's about restoring the natural mechanics of your body. Hydration is another area where men get it wrong. Many men stop drinking water in the evening to avoid night trips to the bathroom. This leads to highly concentrated urine, which actually irritates the bladder lining and makes you feel like you have to go more often. The secret is to hydrate aggressively in the morning and afternoon, then taper off. Keeping the urine dilute prevents irritation and reduces the risk of painful kidney stones that can sideline you for weeks. We also need to discuss the sleep-prostate connection. If you aren't sleeping, your testosterone drops. When testosterone drops, estrogen becomes dominant. This hormonal shift is a primary driver of urological decline. If you are waking up to pee, you aren't getting into deep REM sleep. It becomes a vicious cycle. Addressing the prostate is the only way to get the deep sleep required to keep your testosterone at a level that keeps you feeling like a man. A shocking fact most men don't know is the role of nitric oxide. This molecule is what allows your blood vessels to relax and open up. As you age, your body produces less of it. Urologists recommend eating foods high in natural nitrates, like beets and arugula, to boost this molecule. When your nitric oxide levels are high, your circulation improves everywhere, from your heart to your extremities. It is the natural way to maintain vascular youth. The advice from the older woman is often about the emotional toll. Men who struggle with these issues often withdraw. They become depressed or lose their spark. The life-changing advice here is to realize that your physical health and your mental drive are the same thing. When you take care of your urological health, your brain fog clears and your drive returns. You become a better partner, a better worker, and a more vibrant version of yourself. Many men fear the digital rectal exam or the PSA test so much that they stay away from the doctor for decades. This ostrich approach is what leads to late-stage diagnoses. Modern urology has moved way beyond the old-school methods. We have advanced imaging and blood tests that can catch issues years before they become problems. Getting checked isn't a sign of weakness. It is a strategic move to ensure you stay in the game for the long haul. Let's look at the cold water and movement habit. Research shows that men who engage in regular, vigorous physical activity have significantly lower rates of BPH and urological cancers. Furthermore, cold exposure, like a 30-second cold rinse at the end of your shower, has been shown to boost circulation and improve the tone of the nervous system that controls the bladder. It sounds intense, but the biological rewards are massive for your prostate. We must also talk about the postural drain. Sitting for 8 to 10 hours a day creates pelvic floor congestion. This physically compresses the prostate and restricts the lymphatic drainage of the lower abdomen. If you have a desk job, you must stand up every 30 minutes, perform a deep malasana or yogi squat. This opens up the pelvic outlet and allows for better circulation. This simple mechanical shift can reduce the heavy feeling in the groin area. One of the most ignored factors in men's urological health is the toxic burden. Many common plastics, soaps, and receipts contain BPA and phthalates. These are xenoestrogens that mimic the female hormone in the male body. Since the prostate is highly sensitive to hormones, these chemicals can trigger unnatural growth. Switch to glass containers and natural personal care products. Reducing your estrogenic load is a key step in keeping your prostate small and healthy. Nutrition isn't just about what you cut out, but what you add in. Lycopene, found in cooked tomatoes, is a powerhouse for prostate tissue. Studies suggest that men who consume cooked tomato products regularly have a lower risk of serious prostate issues. Combine this with healthy fats like olive oil to increase absorption. This isn't just health food. It is functional medicine that you can find in any grocery store. Your kitchen is your first line of defense. Another older woman tip: watch the caffeine. While coffee has some benefits, excessive caffeine is a major bladder irritant. It acts as a diuretic, forcing the kidneys to produce more urine and the bladder to contract more frequently. If you are already dealing with an enlarged prostate, caffeine is like pouring gasoline on a fire. Limit your intake to the early morning and notice how much calmer your bladder feels by the time you go to bed. The inflammation trap also involves chronic stress. When you are stressed, your body produces cortisol. Cortisol is the enemy of testosterone. Since the prostate relies on a healthy hormonal balance, chronic stress can lead to flare-ups of prostatitis or increased BPH symptoms. Learning to manage stress through deep breathing or walking in nature isn't just hippie advice. It's urological protection. A calm mind leads to a calm bladder. Let's discuss the fiber factor. Most men don't get nearly enough fiber. Why does this matter for the prostate? Because the colon sits right next to the prostate. If you are chronically constipated, the pressure from the bowel puts direct pressure on the prostate and bladder. This makes it harder to urinate and increases inflammation. A high-fiber diet ensures that things move smoothly, removing that unnecessary internal pressure from your sensitive organs. The final habit involves the squatty position. Modern toilets are actually designed in a way that kinks the plumbing. By using a small stool to lift your knees while on the toilet, you straighten the urethral and rectal path. This allows for a complete emptying of the bladder. If the bladder doesn't empty completely, the leftover urine becomes a breeding ground for bacteria. This one simple change can end the constant urge feeling forever. You have to realize that your body is an integrated system. You cannot ignore one part and expect the rest to function perfectly. The urological system is often the first place where general health problems like high blood pressure and diabetes show their symptoms. If you are struggling in the bathroom, it is a signal from your body that your overall health needs an upgrade. Listen to that signal. It is the most important message you will ever receive. Implement these changes one by one. Don't feel like you have to change your entire life overnight. Start by drinking more water in the morning. Then try the squatting position. Then look at your sugar intake. Small, compounding wins lead to a total transformation. You deserve to feel strong and capable. You deserve to sleep through the night. You deserve a life where you aren't constantly looking for the nearest restroom. The wisdom of the older woman and the expertise of the urologist meet at one point: action. Information without action is useless. You now have the blueprint to reclaim your health. Don't be the man who waits until a crisis to care about his body. Be the man who takes charge today. Your independence, your confidence, and your long-term health are all on the line. The power to change is yours, starting with your next meal and your next move. Remember, 99% of men will ignore this and continue to suffer in silence, accepting a lower quality of life. By being here, you are already ahead of the curve. You are choosing to be proactive. You are choosing to be the version of yourself that stays vibrant and active well into your 80s and 90s. Keep that vision in your mind as you start these new habits. The journey to a healthier you begins right now. Subscribe. Which advice will you start applying today?